Hi guys, so I was asked to do a video on altered cast techniques and show you the steps that I usually follow to get those done. Now I have a cast here from the clinician which they sent out to Bertram Dental Lab to get the framework done, and the framework was done, and then the clinician actually put like your saddles on this frame, and they took an impression under load. So basically my job right now in the lab is to convert this into an altered cast. So what I'm going to do is I've marked here in red is how far I'm going to start cutting the model to get rid of all this excess here. I don't cut straight to the tooth. I can actually leave a little bit of a space, which I will adjust with a handpiece to make sure that I'm exactly at this point right here, so I'm not too much or too little in the area of framework and the actual impression. And from there, once I've cut, I'll actually place little undercuts inside the stone, and then I'll seal it to the frame. So right now I'm going to turn my camera off. I'm going to take this to the lathe and just do some bulk cutting, and then I'm going to bring it back to the bench, and we'll do any additional cutting here. Okay. All right, guys. So at this point, I have trimmed the model, and I created these undercuts in the model, and I made sure that it's fitting all the way nicely onto the frame. The frame is fitting all the way down. Now you have a little bit of spaces here that I'm going to seal up with sticky wax to make sure when I pour up the stone it doesn't get poured on to the teeth, and to make sure also that the frame remains nice and stable. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to melt some sticky wax, and we're going to use some heated instruments, and basically I'm making sure that the frame's all the way down, and I'm sealing it up with sticky wax so it doesn't move in any way once I start boxing it up and pouring up the models as well. So I'm going to seal everything right here so there's no movement. Let's seal it right here as well. Okay, that should be nice and stable. And we're going to do the same thing where the clasps are, especially in the areas like right here to where the stone can leak. It can cause some major disruptions on the fit. Now the stone that I'm using is yellow in color, so you can see pretty easily where it actually kind of overlaps if we need to, so we can still trim it up a little bit if we need to, but that should be probably sufficient to seal everything up and to make sure we pour up the altered cast, sorry, not alternate, in this area right here. Okay, and when I'm separating this down the line, I just soak it in water, and the wax usually just comes off fairly easily. So that's what I use to seal things up, and we kind of go from here. So the next step is going to be to box up the impression. So it's going to be boxed up like this. I'll show you in the next video, and then I'm going to go and pour up the model. So at this point I have everything boxed up, and as you can see I'm using a magnetic boxing strip here, which is pretty much just a dry erase magnetic tape from Amazon. And the dough that I'm using in here, it's called R-Time dough. I also purchased this on Amazon. It's kind of like Play-Doh, just a little bit softer. And I basically blocked out all the areas that I don't want stone going to, and to make sure that I'm not ruining my part of the model that it's that I want to remain untouched. And also blocked out around the saddles. And basically I'm going to vacuum mix the stone, and I'm going to pour it up so it covers everything to about right here. And then once the stone sets up, I'll trim the model, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, I'll go from here. Hi guys, so pretty much at this point we have the altered cast finished up. We have our saddles right here. We have the landing areas nicely trimmed up. Everything's kind of nice and flush. There are no spaces anywhere. And the only thing we have left to do is to create some saddles on our frameworks for the bite registration. Now you can either do this in wax, or you can do this in acrylic or printed or like your material. I like to use printed saddles whenever I can, because the material itself, when you're doing boil out, flexes a little bit, makes it really easy to remove, and there are no undercuts of any kind to trap it in here. So that's why I prefer to do it. But a lot of people still use wax for these, and which is absolutely fine. There's no problems with it at all. And that, my friend, is the altered cast technique in a nutshell. Hope it helps. Talk to you later. Bye.